Hello and welcome to today's video. My name is Gabby and today we are going to be continuing our Reading the Rainbow series and we are going to be reading Yellow Books. I'm excited for this one. I have the whole TBR planned out. I have 3 books that we're going to read and they're going to be really good ones. So I'm really looking forward to this prompt. So let's just jump right into it, and I've actually already started our first book, which is going to be X's and O's by Amy Lee. Look at that gorgeous yellow and pink cover. So cute. I feel like this is perfect for February because it's a rom-com, so we're still kind of in that Valentine's vibe a little bit, and I haven't really picked up like a good romance in a while that's just kind of like cheesy and good, but this is definitely that. I am already 100 pages into this and I was not expecting to get that far. I just started it last night and I'm really enjoying it so far. We are following Tara and she has been heartbroken one too many times and she's done with it. She's over it. She gets this advice from her grandmother and her grandmother is like, maybe you should try hitting up your exes. Okay, that's never a good idea. Let's be so real, that's never a good idea. But she's like, you know what, you're right. I'm gonna go through every boy that I've ever dated from kindergarten to my fiance who just left me, and we're gonna revisit them all, and we're gonna evaluate, and we're gonna do some surveys, and we're gonna see if there's a spark there, and all these things. So that's what we are doing. She's just moved into an apartment with this like hot, sexy firefighter who is kind of assisting her on that journey, and that's kind of where we're at right now. She is a nurse. It takes place in Boston. So fun. And this takes place kind of in the wintertime right now. And there's this big Valentine's gala coming up for the hospital that she works at for charity. And she's like, I need to find a date and it's going to be one of my exes. That's what's happening. I think we can all kind of infer, let's use our brains, who is going to be the gala date. I have a feeling it's going to be sexy firefighter roommate, but we'll see. We'll get there. Tara is also a really fun character. She has a book talk and a bookstagram, and so she's kind of a social media influencer in a set, but she just talks about books. I mean, come on. Same. Like, she's so inauthentically herself, and she's just truly looking for love, and I love that for her. She is a little bit like millennial cringe, but I'm trying to get over that and just have fun. And so that's what we're doing. So again, this is the first book we're reading this week. I'm excited for everything that we have lined up, but for tonight, I am going to get in bed. It's 9 o'clock. I just got home from work. I already showered, blah, 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 and I have to work tomorrow. So we'll see what I can read tonight. I think I'm gonna put on like some ambiance or like a true crime podcast or something to play in the background, and then we'll see what we get done and I will update tomorrow. So I have an update for you. I have finished X's and O's by Amy Lee. I think I'm rating this book probably like 2.5 stars. It was so millennial cringe. It was so millennial cringe and I just could not get over it. I think I kind of mentioned earlier what this is a little bit about. So we're following Tara. She is a influencer for books, which of course I loved that aspect. She loves romance books and that's all she talks about. She separates from her fiance and has to randomly, long story short, move in with this guy. She's feeling hopeless for love. She's like, my heart has been broken one too many times. And she gets some advice from her grandmother to go back and create a list of her exes and visit each one and see if there's any sort of romantic spark left there. So we're following her and she goes through the list, essentially. And by her side is her roommate. Her roommate is Trevor. He's a firefighter and she's a nurse. So I liked that aspect of it. We kind of take a lot of time to get into Trevor's past and for him to open up to Tara and kind of get comfortable with each other, where she kind of opens up right away. She's more of an open book. He teases her a lot. There's this big gala coming up. She's trying to find one of her exes to be a date for this gala. I don't know. That's basically it. That's the premise. And I just did not enjoy it. I feel like the whole thing is that we're going down this list of exes, and each scene with each ex was just so quick-lived. Like, it was way too short. There wasn't any real emphasis on it. I felt like the whole time she was really just pining after her roommate, being like, oh, I can't be with him, but I'll keep going down my list of exes. And then the ex would be in the scene for like maybe 5 pages, not even. Like, I don't know. And her sense of humor and everything was just very cringy to me, like too much. I don't even know how to explain millennial cringe. How do you even explain millennial cringe? But if you know what I'm talking about, like, then you'll understand. I was just like kind of painful. I'll give her the fact, I think I said earlier, she is very authentically herself. I'll give her that. The romance wasn't doing anything for me. But I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed because I was really looking forward to this book. It's been on my shelf for a good amount of time now. We completed it. It's our first yellow book. Not starting off on a very good note, but that's fine. Moving on to our next yellow book, which is going to be Beach Read by Emily Henry. This is the one Emily Henry book of her contemporary romance that I have not read. So I'm very excited to read this. I've heard so many great things. I tried to read it a long time ago, a few years ago, and at the time it was just not hitting. But this is a book on my 26 for 2026, so I'm excited to get this crossed off. I'm excited to jump into it, and yeah, I don't really know that much about it. I think they're both writers, and they kind of go on this retreat, or not retreat, they're both at these like vacation homes that are next to each other, and then they end up challenging each other to write each other's genre. I think she writes romance, he writes like general fiction or something, and they challenge each other to write each other's genre. Is that this book that I'm thinking of? Yes, it is this book. Okay, so that is the plot. I know everyone kind of reads this book in the summer, and it's not summer outside at all. Yesterday we had a crazy hailstorm, but whatever. I need some summer happiness in my life. So maybe this will hit. I'm hoping. Let's get started. I do have to work tonight and tomorrow night. I'm going to start it now. I'm going to try to take a nap before work, actually. So I'm going to start reading and see how far we get into it. And I'll probably update at about halfway. Okay, so I have finished Beach Read by Emily Henry, and I have so many thoughts. I think as for rating, I'm going to be rating this one a 4-star. I don't know. It was so good. This was the first book that I've read in a while that I truly felt invested in the characters and the story. And it was just so classic and so perfectly Emily Henry in a way that I can't really describe. Emily Henry and I kind of have a love-hate relationship. I either really love her books or I really hate them. Funny Story was one that I know was not that popular, but for me, that book was everything. It was so good. I absolutely loved it. And so to read this book and have those same sort of feelings, just the writing is so poetic and so beautiful, and the story, and you feel like you know these people. You feel like they are your own friends, and they're so relatable, and it was just so good. This was the first book in so long, actually, that I've annotated, and I just did a simple annotation with one tab and just like some underlines, nothing crazy, but it was so good, and reading it had to be so emotional. The writing was so beautiful, and I was just like, I need to annotate this book, like I already know. So in this book, we are following January, and her father has just passed away. And as she's dealing with all this newfound grief, completely unexpected, she finds out that her father is not who she thought he was, and he was actually cheating on his mother, her mother, who she thought was the love of his life. And this is a complete shock. She looked to her parents as the epitome of love and a happy relationship and hope in the world. So finding this out was just absolutely devastating. And the house that he bought with the other woman, he has left to her. So it is now her job to sell everything, including the house. Now, January is an author, and since her dad died about a year ago at this point, in the current day, she has not done any writing whatsoever, and her bank account's running low. So she decides to move into the house to get it, fixed up to sell, and hopefully make some money and use this opportunity over the summer as a sort of writing retreat in a sense, because it's on this beautiful lake in this quaint small town. And who would be her next door neighbor other than Gus, who is her college arch rival in a sense, because he is also a pretty successful author actually. So they get to talking here and there, and she writes romance books, he writes fiction books, and she feels kind of like he is threatening her in the sense that he's giving the vibe that romance books are easy to write, that they don't really contribute anything to the writing world. And she's basically like, you could never write a romance book. And he's like, well, you could never write a fiction book. So they challenge each other to do that. And they take each other on little excursions to kind of research those topics, like research romance books and research writing a fiction book in different ways. This book heavily explores grief and her sense of self in such a way, I don't even know. Just reading it, like, you literally feel like you're there and you're like, wow, I understand completely what you mean, even though I could never think those words with my own brain. I feel like everyone has read this book other than me at this point, but we can talk a little bit about what I underlined. This is on page 135. It says, I wanted to know whether you could ever fully know someone, if knowing how they were, how they moved and spoke, and the faces they made, and the things they tried not to look at amounted to knowing them, or if knowing things about them, where they'd been born, all the things they'd been, who they'd loved, the worlds they'd come from, added up to anything. I thought that was so pretty. This, I thought, was so gorgeously written about January and Gus, and it says, standing there in that moment, I felt like I'd stumbled on something hidden and sacred, more intimate even than what had been passed between us at his house. Like Gus had pulled back the curtains in the window of a house I'd been admiring, whose inside I've been dreaming about, but even so, underestimated. Like, just the way she writes. For me, this book was just so comforting. I absolutely loved it. It was just so good. All the different themes and the way things wrapped up and exploring something that's hard, but also making it kind of a romance book. I think it's more so women's fiction, and romance to me felt more of the subplot, in diving into these characters and their paths and seeing them work on themselves was what the book was really about for me, and I loved it. It was so good. Our final yellow book that we will be reading together is Carrie Soto's Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I am so excited to pick this book up, and I think I've been holding off because Taylor Jenkins Reid is probably, I would say, my top author of all time. I love everything she's written, and so since this is one of, I think, 2 of her books that I have not read, I've been kind of trying to savor it and hold out for as long as I can, since she just released Atmosphere last year, so it'll probably be another 2-ish years until she publishes again, but it's so worth the wait every single time. I'm so excited, and I believe this is in the kind of readverse. Is that what they call it? The readverse. So we're gonna see minorly a few other characters that we've seen in books before, or at least have them mentioned, which is always fun. All I know about this book is that it is about tennis, and she was in retirement, but now her title is being threatened, so she wants to come back. That's about all that I know, but I am beyond excited to get this started. Ugh, it's like bittersweet because I don't want there to be no more Taylor Jenkins Reid books left that I haven't read, but I also just adore her work. It's so good. And also, this was part of my 26 for 2026, so glad to be checking this one off. Anyways, let's get into it. I will update you tomorrow, probably, to see how far I've gotten. And oh, her writing is just so delectable. I don't know, I'm having a good feeling about this one. Let's just do it. Let's bite the bullet and get this done. It is a gorgeous day out, so obviously I'm spending some time outside reading, and I actually wanted to update last night, but then we ended up going to the Bruins game and they won 6-1, which was so fun. It was such a blast. So I'm more than halfway through. I think I'm about 80% through. I'm currently on page 285. out of like 370-ish, I want to say. I'm having a blast. I'm having so much fun reading this, and something just happened that like literally has me smiling from ear to ear. It like gets me giddy and it gets me excited, like in anticipation of what's about to happen. I don't want to put it down right now, and I'm just having such good feelings about this book. Oh my goodness. That's all I want to say right now because I want to get back to reading. I'm hoping to finish this today. It's just so good. It's so good. I'm literally loving it. I have finished reading Carrie Soto's Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I fear this is a perfect 5-star. I don't fear it. I'm fully embracing it, actually. So in this book, we follow Carrie, and we start off as just a little girl, and she is being raised by her father. Her mother had passed away pretty young, and her father was previously a tennis player, and he was pretty good at it. He never played it at a professional level, but he moved to the United States, had Carrie, and as he was raising her, he told her, "You are going to be the greatest tennis player in the world." And she followed that all throughout her life. She kept telling herself, "I'm going to be the greatest. I'm going to be the greatest. I'm going to be the greatest." She became very ruthless and cutthroat, and in her adult life, she did. She held the record for the most Grand Slam single titles in tennis, period. Not even just for women, but in tennis. However, a few years after her retirement, that title is challenged by another player, and Carrie decides to come out of retirement. And she's like, "You know what? I'm taking my record back. Like, I'm standing on that." So she comes out of retirement, and everyone is giving her a very, very hard time. She's considered old for tennis standards, as she's now, I want to say, in her late 30s. All of the media is just in a frenzy. People are talking so bad about her, doubting her, calling her the B word. And we follow Carrie and her mindset as she's trying to adjust to this kind of new world of tennis and prove herself. Not to prove herself for the love of the game, but to prove herself for being the best. So much happens in this book. Other than that, it's just the writing is so good. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I just love her. Like, the way this was written was just such perfection. Like, you feel like you're just living it. I don't know even how to describe the writing. Like, truthfully, it's like reading a tabloid, low-key, but like also being so in the story and in the mind of the character. It was just so enjoyable. We see so much growth through Carrie in so many different ways. Oh my goodness. Her father as a character is just the best. Like, she had ended up leaving him because she thought that he was starting to doubt her. So she was like, "I don't want you to be my coach anymore." However, it was slowly revealed to the world that he was just the greatest tennis coach. Like, he truly was. He was so good at coaching tennis and picking up on every little thing. And I appreciate so much how I did not know a single thing about tennis going into this book, and now I know how an actual game works, and by the end of the book, I could really pick up on what was being said without having to think twice about it. You know what I mean? When they're describing matches in a sort of like play-by-play, like, I could understand everything that was going on. So enjoyable, so perfect. I absolutely loved it. Oh my gosh. This will definitely be one that I'll probably be rereading. Now I want to reread every Taylor Jenkins Reid book, especially Seven Husbands, because that's, just iconic, but I have to find my copy for that. So yeah, so good. Top tier. I almost regret putting it off this long, but at the same time, it's like bittersweet having finished this book. So just a very, very quick recap about what we read in this video. We read X's and O's, which, not a favorite. We read Beach Read, which was so enjoyable. And then we also read, obviously, Carrie Soto's Back. So I would say, all in all, reading yellow books was pretty successful, considering 2 of these books are now favorites on my shelf. They were so good. If you've read any of these books, I would love to hear what you thought about them and, your notes, your feelings. Let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching and following along. I will see you in the next video.